Now I'm hungry. Damn
And
it.
that's how the podcast is gonna start, apparently. So anyway, guys, it's Festival of the Four Winds is just released in game yesterday. Sorry we're throwing the days off being on Wednesday, but I got some work stuff and it's just being a pain in my ass. But anyway, if you wanted to know where babies come from in Tyria, you stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 97th, I keep saying it, but we're getting closer to 100, episode of the Chronicles of Tyria podcast, Gw2 podcast, for fans, by fans. I am Lagwin, your host, and I am joined by my lovely co-host, Saune.
Hello.
If you guys are seeing, which you actually, I know you are, this weird little window within a window on Saune's end, that's always there. It's just normally black for whatever reason. Today, it's a webcam of her desk. Now it's her hand over the webcam.
No, now it's on my desk. It's literally face down on my desk.
Well, it doesn't. I was just clarifying for the people so they know
Yeah.
what's going on. I'm just trying to adjust so you're better in frame. There we go. Okay. So anyway, we have lots of stuff to talk about because we actually got content and a fair amount, a lot of returning stuff, some tweaks to some existing stuff. But we're gonna run through everything that happened with the Festival of the Four Winds. I'm going to upfront put out there that I have not had. Usually we have an extra day because the podcast is on Thursday, to play around in the new patch, but unfortunately since it's today, not a lot of time to play around in there, and I played just a little bit yesterday, so we're going to rely on Saune for some assistance and help from you guys in the chat.
Yeah, because I've played only about an extra hour longer than you.
Hey, I barely played it all yesterday. Yeah. I had my game up while I was doing work. So we'll rely on people in the chat as well. So, again, if you are an iTunes listener and you would love to watch us live, and we always talk about how Saune does speed doodles, and I post the links to those in the descriptions to the podcast on iTunes. But if you actually want to see my lovely face and Saune's lovely drawings, you can come watch us live. And again, this is an awful time to say. This is every Thursday at 9 p.m. on Twitch, except for today when it's on Wednesday. But again, you guys aren't going to see it till like Friday, so just bank on it being Thursday, iTunes users. And thank you for all the downloads, because I do see how many of you downloaded each month, and that's awesome. Alright, we're going to jump right into our mailbag section. We got, you guys have been doing a great job sending us lots of comments and various messages. Not as many walls of text as we normally are accustomed to, but that's okay. sometimes those do get a little long, and but we actually have stuff to talk about. So onward. First is from Tank It Out, and if you watch the Let's Lore that'll be coming out this Friday, Tank It Out actually gets a shout out in it from Casey, who mentions that they came over to watch us from watching the Sitting on a Couch MMORPG podcast. So you guys are really amusing to listen to and watch. As someone who missed Guild Wars 1, I enjoy watching these. My only suggestion would be possibly cutting the intro down. A minute's a pretty long time. This is in reference to the 23rd episode of the Let's Lore. You are correct, sir. I want to trim down, or at least make the intro jazzier, so that it'll be a little more entertaining to watch or listen to, possibly with original music. But I was heavily relying on a name for the actual Let's Lore group of 4, which may expand in the future. But I don't have an idea for a name, and I can't like really make a cool voiceover intro without a name. So I leave it, unless I come up with one in the meantime, I leave it up to you guys to try to come up with a cool name. So yeah. Do you want to take the next one?
It is from our beloved friend Club, who keeps showing up on Leg and the Ladies, which is awesome.
Yes.
Because that takes a lot of work when we're going through the story missions right now, because it's all like, hi, poof, we're gone. Hi, poof, we're gone. Anyways, back to the mailbag. Club says, I plan on making some art for you guys when I get a bit of free time. I love seeing all the different fan-made stuff, as well as Saune's on-air doodles. I forgot to mention this. I've been getting an insane amount of gold seller whispers in-game lately. I've been reporting around 3+ every 5 minutes or so. Is anyone else experiencing this? That was on YouTube from last week's episode. Yep. I haven't, but I also haven't been online enough to tell. I'm guessing that the increase in the gold sellers has to do with the entirely new group of players coming in, although they are on a completely segregated server system from us.
Yeah.
Kind of like how Europe is completely separate from us. China is probably even more separate from us. But yeah, that's probably why you're seeing a lot of it. Just keep at reporting it, and hopefully they'll go away. You can also block them.
But I would do both, report and block. Yeah, it's been happening to me a lot lately. And I don't, but the Chinese can't. I don't believe they can send over. Like if they can, like if people over there get hacked, that they can send gold to us. I don't think it works that way. I don't think we can exchange items that way, like from account to account. Especially theirs, because theirs is an entirely separate everything. I was under the impression that the trading post is between Europe and North America. I was under the impression that that's everything all in one. But China, I know, is 100% separate. So I don't think there's any way they could get us, because I don't even think like we could talk to them in game. Like you can talk in game to people that are on European servers. I don't even think we can interact with them.
Probably. I wouldn't expect us to. Yeah.
So there's really, I mean, you're probably right. An influx of new players will obviously bring in an influx in gold sellers, but I feel like they're going about it all wrong.
Yeah.
So
probably not the smartest people necessarily. So
yeah, whatever. So just block and report. It's their best bet. Next up is from the Richmond 247. This was in relation to the most recent Lag and Ladies that just went out on Tuesday. It says, "Damn, wish I had picked this path for my char. Now she is badass." This is in reference to the to Casey's storyline that we just played through on this episode that released on Tuesday, with the where you're able to call in the mortar strikes and the sniper support in the char personal story.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And I've only ever done char personal story once, and this was on my friends that I did this one. So that's my favorite by a long shot. Alright, so the next one is, if you desperately wanted to read this,
Okay, yeah, and if you're watching, and this isn't how you intended it to be read, I'm sorry, I just can't help it because it's too much fun for me to do this. I'm also slightly sleep deprived, just like Leg. Anyways, this is from, oh my god, stop taking names. Leg, you're a bunker guard. You should be wherever the fights are and leave the class better suited for 1v1s to defend the points. Just saying.
I can't really comment on Saune's reading of that.
That's why I wanted to do it. That was how I read it in my head. That's why I started laughing and yeah.
Oh, hey, it's all good. I did respond to this comment on YouTube, actually. But I did want to say that, yeah, I don't normally play. I'm not like I like PvP a lot. I'm not a huge PvPer, but I don't play bunker guard in PvP. I don't really bunker at all in PvP normally. But I knew that our team was kind of pretty green, and we were going up on with a group of people that play together pretty regularly and understand how PvP mechanics work. So I knew we were going to need someone that could hold the point, but you're probably right. I should have, gone to mid where the action was to help heal and keep people up. But I also didn't really have anybody on my team that was set up to hold the point, so we still needed, home. But that's irrelevant. We're going to keep moving on to shoutouts. Boom.
Yay!
Got this lovely piece of art here that we debuted last week. Again, this is from our good friend Vasburg. His information will be in the description. And be on the lookout because future shows are going to have more art from him. So,
Because he's awesome.
yeah. So, Saune, you had some shoutouts.
I have my first shout out goes to Jaxos and Jasper Left. I had only one diving location to do, and then I would have had all 38. That one diving location was that bloody Aether Blade one. So Jaxos offered to help portal me up there. And we ran into Jasper Left, who was also heading for the goggles, and the two of them essentially portal left frogged me all the way up there, again, and then when I dived and died, again, and again, and again, until I finally succeeded in hitting the water opposed to anything else on the way down. Which was super awesome of the both of them.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, and the other shout out is to my grandma. Hi, Grandma. Hopefully you actually make it this far into the podcast. I was trying to explain it to what a podcast was to her, and we just decided that it would be easier if she just sat on YouTube and watched. So, yeah. Hi, Grandma. Love you. Okay, we can carry on.
Oh, you're. I was gonna say, like, you do know that we're streaming on Twitch and not YouTube, but you mean when it goes up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no. Twitch might be a little too much for my...
yeah. I mean, you can stream, for those of you that don't know, you can stream through YouTube with using Google Hangouts, but we never really had a lot of luck with that in the past. We did it once, I think, for a CoT Weekly live episode around Thanksgiving 2 years ago. But anyway, I wanted to, I guess I'll just give a shout out to my good friend Nick, who decided to retire from the Buddhist monastery where he was preserving ancient texts and sculptures to go to Ohio to sell credit card processing. That's the kind of guy he is. So Nick, it was good to see you. Good to go see Godzilla with you. Had a great time trying to explain to someone who doesn't really use computers what a hashtag is. So that's something fun to think about. Someone that doesn't know what Twitter is at all, let alone what a hashtag is, and then try to explain to someone with no knowledge of any of this, of recent events for the past 3 to 5 years, and go, oh, hashtag whatever, as a joke, and then he's like, what? I was like, well, it's the pound symbol, and then you write things, and he's like, but I don't get it. That was a long car ride home from the movie theater. But anyway. So shoutouts, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So wow, news, lots of news because of the
Yay.
Festival of the Four Winds. But before we get into the official information about the patch itself, which I'm sure all of you guys have been enjoying, we're going to talk about the couple other little bits of news that kind of cropped up here and there. I'm going to, oops, don't do that. Son of a, hang on. Okay,
What are you
there we
doing?
go. I accidentally changed the link, which I didn't realize you could do. So I'm going to post this link here in the chat. This is from Gw2, letter number 2 and then E, clever name. And said this is the conversation that he or she had with a dev, Lady Avant, near Vigil Keep, and basically there's a ton of pictures there with lots of with the whole chat log. But the biggest thing is the dev says starting with episode 1, meaning episode 1 of Living Story season 2, not the Festival of the Four Winds. This is the upcoming. Whenever that is. We're assuming 2 weeks, but we'll see. Starting with episode 1, not this one, meaning Festival of the Four Winds, all Living Story releases will be permanent. Festivals and whatnot will still be seasonal. So, that is a developer in the game saying on their developer-linked account that all Living Story content going forward is going to be permanent. Which...
with the tag up and everything.
Yeah. We have a dedicated team working on endgame gear progression. That is all I have to say. What else we got? The ability to switch back and forth. Is there something you can credit yourself to in the Living Story? Not that she's aware of. I thought they needed to release 2 more worlds, red-skinned and purple-skinned. The ability to switch back and forth between different quest lines. I didn't realize there was so much more. Oh, holy cow.
Oh, are you reading through the shortcutted link that I gave you?
Maybe? Yeah, I think so.
The second link?
No. Is that... Oh, that would be a better idea. Let's do that.
Maybe.
Maybe. I don't read what you write. No, I'm just kidding.
But it's true! Why did Tar have so many ears? It's awkward.
Some aspects will be temporary, like ambient stuff, but the meat of it will stick around. There's always talks of new cool stuff. How much of it makes it through the review gauntlets and out to live eventually is a better question. The reason we don't give solid answers on upcoming content or features is usually because we honestly don't know. We try a ton of stuff, not all of it works out. Just like the Domino's cookie pizza, apparently. Players get mad if we say we're working on something and then find out we can't or shouldn't do it, so we have to stay quiet until we're sure. Actually, I'll just link this to everybody so they can follow along if they so see fit. Can we expect to see big changing updates like the April patch in the upcoming Living Story? The Living Story updates will be about story, not new features. There's some small tech changes to support the new Living Story system, but that's it. I take that back. There are small under the hood, take that back. They are not small under the hood. They were major pain in the ass, but on the surface, they are small. So, very interesting stuff. Not really sure if I was a dev that I would say that in Say Chat to people. Just in case you... I imagine you could get in trouble for that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But I feel like any times I've ever talked with devs, like, we have fun joking back and forth, but like they have to realize that this kind of thing can happen. There will be screenshots of the chat log, and it will go up on Reddit, and people will like freak out about it.
Well, yeah, especially when it's all whilst wearing their tag.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing if they weren't wearing their tag, and hey, I know that you are part of the dev, and like they don't wear their tag if they're not on the clock, sort of thing. But if they're on the clock, then yeah.
Yeah. And you link this, which is another cool thing. We saw on the one live stream not that long ago where people were freaking out about where McLean, the minstrel, he came out and he said, like, I'm going to be traveling to some new areas to try to record. We're going to do live orchestra recordings for the Living Story Season 2 music. And you found this. So this is a link of the orchestra getting ready to do the recordings for Living Story Season 2. That's pretty crazy. I'm not a huge orchestra instrument guy, so I can't really, nothing really jumps out to me as like a weird instrument that might be like, oh, can't have confirmed. You know what I mean?
Well, because the thing is it all depends on how they put it together.
Yeah.
I highly doubt that they would do something foolish like putting a Chinese harp in plain view, because that would just be
sitar or something.
Yeah.
What's that other
I don't think
weird
that they
one
would do that.
with the where you hit like the little strings? You got like the little kind of almost not like drumsticks, but what the hell is it called?
You just sort of pluck it?
No, you like tap the strings like almost like you have drumsticks and it sits on your lap. Dulcimer.
Oh.
Dulcimer. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So that's awesome. I'm very excited. First time we'll have live orchestra recordings for Guild Wars 2. So.
Yeah, that means that it's going to be like really epic music.
Fingers crossed.
Probably on par with some of, because they've been rehashing a lot of Guild Wars 1 music.
Well, I mean, Guild Wars 1 music was excellent.
Yeah.
Especially the later stuff in Eye of the North had a lot of power to the music. And just a real quick thing from us. The 10th, just a link right there. The 10th issue of our webcomic came out today, this morning. New comic book day. Same day that Chronicles of Tyria webcomic comes out. For those of you that followed our contest, you'll realize that the character of Isis is a character, the human storyline winner, and has officially been introduced now. So we're slowly working through the story to add in all the other characters and really kind of get the ball rolling. So we appreciate any of the comments you guys give us on the webcomic. We've gotten some really nice ones, mostly to our gag comics, but that's okay. We like that too.
Oh yeah, I should start a thread in our forum for feedback on that. I thought about that one time when I was trying to sleep, because apparently that's when all my best ideas happen. When I shouldn't be doing anything about it.
It's usually how it works.
Yeah. Like, I want to sleep now. Hey, that's a brilliant idea. Now let us ponder it for many an hour.
No, I'm right there with you. Where do you think the idea for lagging the ladies came from? I mean, aside from the awesome name that just kind of popped in my head, but anyway, so what's this? I'm attempting to sell confirmed bug thing. I didn't get a chance to read that. So what was that?
Okay. If you're like me and you tend to check the trading whenever you get like a full inventory, you go in trading, you try to trading post a whole bunch of it just to get it out of your inventory. And a number of pieces you get quite the profit off of them versus the merchant. You do too many too fast, it'd just be like nope. And it'd just say error. And I always assumed that was to prevent bot selling. Where a bot could just go sell all. Because if I waited a few seconds and whatnot, if any of you have been on voice chat with me and you like, I have to sell something. 1, 2. That's me like trying to pace myself between each sell. Apparently that's not actually the case, and that is actually a bug that they have been trying to fix. And they have finally found the reason for it. And if they finally found the reason for it, that means that they can finally work on a fix.
Well, that's good.
Yes.
Oh yeah, because I've encountered that too, and I thought it was kind of like if you talk too much in like chat, you get kind of get like silenced for a little bit.
Yeah.
It tells you like you have to wait a little while. Like if you send two mails, which is so annoying, send two mails back to back, it like locks you out for a minute before you can send another mail. So I assume that I assume that was the same thing with selling multiple things on the trading post.
Yeah. But it turns out not.
And then you also put something in here about the broken API.
Yeah. If some of the old world event trackers, so they don't really work anymore because the APIs, a lot of the APIs are broken.
Sure.
And apparently, when they did the mega server, a lot of the APIs broke, like pretty much all of them. And they thought that they had fixed it, but a good number of them remained broken, and they're still working on it. Any of the world events, though, they're not going to ever be APIs for them. So you'll just have to find a site that just has like a timer for them, like just a automated version of that really nice chart that we once posted about from Dulcie's site.
Yeah, I mean, the mega servers kind of blew up the API, and almost I'm not gonna say the entire need for the API, but I mean,
pretty close.
I mean, yeah, it kind of took out the whole. I mean, I don't know. I never actually got delved too far into playing around with API stuff, but I know a lot of people use them for what's it called? For the for tracking the world events, and that kind of all went out the window.
Yeah. The thing is like pre-events, it's hard to tell what state they're in. I thought there used to be APIs for craft nodes and such. But if there is, they probably weren't working anymore.
Right.
So stuff like that. There was quite a few, because there's a lot of events that used to be tracked. Like, say, the temples. The temples are not world evented. But, so they should show up on the APIs. But if the APIs are broken...
Yeah, I didn't even think about the temples, because I haven't gone to Ore since they adjusted the Grenth Temple run, whenever that was. Where they actually made, like, the priest lock, or the, knock you up in the air, the champion of Grenth. And he drops you down, you almost die instantly, just dead people everywhere.
Yeah.
That's actually, now that we're talking about champions and champ farm, it's actually not a bad segue into the new patch, because there were some adjustments. For those of you who don't know, they changed a lot of the champ farm stuff. So I'm gonna just link or I'll close the tab. That works too. Let's get the release notes here. So I'll link the patch notes in the chat. Oh, something in my eye. Awesome. Get that, and then I'll pull up the release page as well.
What? Oh.
Oh my God, Alucardalina.
What is she?
In forever. Yeah.
Thank you, Alu.
I guess you could say in forever.
We need our puns, darling.
Forever. Anyway. Right. So they, I guess we'll just start with that. They removed the champ train from all of the low-level zones: Queensdale, Caledon Forest, Metro Province, Wayfarer Foothills, and the Plains of Ashford. So the Queensdale champ train, gone.
Dead!
There is no more Queensdale champ train. Now, whether or not you think that's a good idea or a bad idea, it's kind of irrelevant, because it's gone now. So
I think it's a good idea. Actually, I was talking to MB when I was playing this morning before I went to bed. We were talking about it because all I did was read the bug fixes instead of actual like story stuff on the notes before I hopped in, and he had really good points and stuff. And I have to agree with everything he said that I can actually remember at this point in time. But it was really toxic for new players with map chat on. Because when you start out new, everything is on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when you're in those zones, like, oh my God forbid you accidentally kill the troll on someone. Like, and I guess apparently map chat was getting very vulgar and so on and so forth, or just plain gross when they weren't being super rage-tastic.
Yeah, I could see that.
So just kiboshing all of the champs, just right up, just don't bother with the champ train at all in there. I think that's really good because the thing is, like, you weren't, as a new player, I could see not feeling like you're not allowed to participate in these events. Like, you're just supposed to know what you are and are not allowed to touch, and how awful that is. And, like, that's not really the kind of introduction players should be having to the area, especially because most people play human first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there was much of a champ train in any of the other starter zones. Not saying there couldn't be one, but now there's not. I guess what ANET was also kind of maybe worried about is people just kind of jumping on board the champ train and then just like doing the champ train rather than playing the game as a new player.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's a good way to level up, and it's a good way to get a lot of gold, and you don't really have to explore anywhere past Queensdale if you make a human.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's see, what else do we have? So the Frost Gorge is still around. That was the original. I feel like the original champ train was Frost Gorge before Queensdale was, really sorted out. So that still exists, and you can probably do a pretty decent champ train rather in Ore. I'm not exactly sure where that would, like, which part of Ore, but I know there's a lot of champs there, and there are the temples as well. So I'm sure you could set up a decent run there. Plus, that'd put people back in Ore, which like I said, I haven't been there in forever. Ha ha ha.
Well, last time I was in there, they were starting up doing Plix again. We had a small little Zerg doing that. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Just because it's short, and I mean, it's not the huge raking out of cash and stuff that the old Plix used to be. Back when everyone was for getting to Ore and we were abusing the crap out of everything, but
yeah, the karma train running up and down from God Settlers to whatever the other waypoint is. God, I can't even remember. It's been so long. But little small updates. Guild mission rewards are no longer limited to the guild that triggered it. So if you join in and help on a mission, you can get the accommodations and accept the mission completion if you so choose. It has to be accepted by someone who has the ability to has mission control permissions. So Alu says, I wish they could have left a champion in some early zone somewhere because it shows the players what kind of dangers they can face and makes everything not seem so easy. Just one, but even that can cause problems. Well, I mean, I agree with that, and I guess their argument could be like, there's the world bosses, or those are legendary level, but you know what I mean, like the Shadow Behemoth and the Jungle Worm, things like that.
Yeah, those have the potential to scale up for champions. Is Oak still a champ?
I don't believe so, no. I think that got nerfed.
Oh, did it nerf it?
Queensdale. Destroy the Wasp Queen, eliminate the Bandit Loot, hunt and slay the Giant Boar, liberate Shaymore Garrison, convert the Elite Force. But actually, you know what? It doesn't say anything about the Oak Heart.
There you go.
Champion, Cave Troll, Bandit Lieutenant, Wasp, Giant Boar, Tamini Chieftain, and converted the Elite Forest Spider into the Queen's Forest. In the Queen's Forest, a veteran. So possibly that may still be around, the Champion Oak Heart.
Yeah.
But that would just be one.
Yeah. Because those, the ones, at least when I skimmed over it, those were the primary core of the champ train itself.
Mm-hmm.
So by knocking those out, like, you can still leave one or two, like the oak. And the oak remaining champion makes sense just because of the nature of that event.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What do you mean, nope? Alu?
Maybe it's not a champion anymore. They just didn't say it. Oh. Or as if it wasn't there. Maybe they just removed it entirely. But anyway, let's keep going on.
I don't see them taking it out entirely. That kind of defeats the purpose of that area.
I don't know. There were some adjustments made to the Dredge Fractal, for those of you Fractal runners. I actually have to get back into Fractals. I haven't done them in a long time, but as most of you know, the Dredge Fractal was the worst Fractal. It was the longest, it was the most annoying. They tweaked some of the various parts of the dungeon that will make it shorter to run, less kind of annoying, and they boosted the chance of dropping ascended weapon armor and weapon boxes from the higher levels of the fractal, which is good. All of the ascended back pieces that you could make, like Light of Dwayna and Shadow of Grenth, can now be those can be infused in the Mystic Forge. Let's see what else. Some skill fact updates for a lot of professions to make them accurately represent what they do. Oh, one of the kind of little quality of life thing is the kill streak boosts. Have you noticed that at all?
I never really used them, but I did read about them. It actually sounds like they're useful now.
Yeah, if you don't
or at least
know,
clearer.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't know what they used to be, kill streak booster was essentially you would use a booster, and I think it lasted for 30 seconds, maybe 60 seconds. And each time you killed an enemy, or you got plus 100% experience every time you killed an enemy, and if you didn't kill an enemy within whatever that time frame was, the kill streak booster was lost. You lost it forever, basically. So,
really?
That's how it used to work. So, like, I pop it, say it's 30 seconds. I have plus 100% experience from kills for the next 30 seconds. I kill something, it resets to 30. I kill something else, it resets to 30. You can never go above 30, but that's just how it worked. Now, they adjusted it so that when you use a kill streak booster, it lasts for an hour. And it starts with a 10% bonus. Kill streaks last 60 seconds, and you get a 10% bonus experience for each kill, and that stacks up to 100%. So if you kill 10 things in the course of, within a short period of time, as long as you don't lapse out of that 60 seconds between a kill, you will get plus 100% bonus experience from kills, but the boost itself will last an hour. So
that
it's much
totally
more...
makes so much more sense.
And they also changed the icon as well. It used to be a
I
little
think that's
skull.
to, reinforce the fact that its function has changed.
Maybe. I mean, it used to be a little skull, and now it's like a, I don't know, symbol. This would have been super useful after the feature patch. You can now combine your transmutation crystals into transmutation charges. They can be clicked in groups of 25 and 5. So if you don't want to have to sit there like I did and click a bunch of times through your stacks of transmutation stones or crystals, you can just click and do it at 25 at a time, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's a couple of bug fixes that just happened recently. So, I think it's just about time to actually discuss the patch itself. You know what? Let's talk Gem Store, actually. They added new weapon skins. The Phoenix
They're
weapons.
gorgeous. I haven't looked at them, but MB showed me the axe and the greatsword.
They're gorgeous, and I haven't looked at them, she says.
Well, I looked at a few, but I meant to actually go to the vendor and look at them all.
Well,
ooh, I'm gonna look.
I just linked it in the chat. These are the Phoenix weapon skins. Some of them I'm not too thrilled by, but others I super duper like. Like the staff and the shield and the greatsword. I like the shield the best because you can actually get a good look at the phoenix itself with its wings up, which is pretty cool. And the staff also has just like a cool, the staff head is just really neat looking.
That dagger is so not functional.
Yeah, and like I feel like the mace and the scepter look like they could almost be interchangeable. The hammer is kind of weird. It's giant. There's a little Ramona Flowers action going on with that hammer.
That rifle is huge.
But yeah. Yeah, and it's like 6 barrels. The rifle. 8 barrels.
Yeah, it's
6
bloody
barrels.
huge.
Yeah, I'm not super duper thrilled by a lot of them, but I mean, I already own the shield, the greatsword, and the staff. Like, I bought those. Those are mine now. I have them forever. And I bought an extra one of each so that I can sell them down the road.
Yeah.
But you know what? Variety of skins is always a plus. So
yeah.
I appreciate that. Also in the gem store, new faces for full total makeover kits. I want to point out how excited I was and a bunch of other people were. We can have female characters with freckles now.
I love the freckles, and it's in the Sylvari too. The Sylvari have the freckles too. They redid some of the faces and put freckles on them.
I didn't actually
look
through
awesome.
all these. Oh, I see the freckles now on the female Sylvari.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they actually have like other female Sylvari faces other than that one.
Yeah.
That like look good. Like all 3 of the new female Sylvari faces look really good actually.
Although my only complaint with the human female is they have got, and I'm really hoping I don't shove my foot in my mouth with this, they have got to get a woman on the team that sets those up, because it's those colors on that face, or maybe it's just like the makeup needs to tweak with the skin tone, because that face, right, because it's like a little bit of makeup and then what looks like the same face with brighter makeup and then the freckle face, that middle one, it's like, that's what happens when your toddler gets into your makeup kit. Like,
you don't like the colors are just the ruby red lips there
on super pale skin?
Well, I mean, you can change the skin color. You'll still have red lips. It'll be awesome.
The colors just look so... Yeah.
Well, freckles. That was the important part.
Yeah.
There's a human male face, another kind of scarred up face, which I think that makes it to a total of 2. So, sort of not beautiful characters, because typically the Guild Wars 2 thing is you gotta have beautiful characters. The Norn faces, not too thrilled with, although the bottom one, on the one character I have, with the angle of the eyebrows and the way it works, not a bad Daenerys impersonator, gotta say. If you're a Game of Thrones fan, kind of has that Khaleesi look, and it's the blonde hair with the brown eyebrows, which I still kind of wonder if Emilia Clarke went so far. I mean, that was actually a wig, so never mind. In Game of Thrones, Emilia Clarke's wearing a blonde wig, but they kept her eyebrows dark brown that matches her real hairs. Whatever. I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Norn, again, more scarred, kind of old-looking faces, which is nice, because there's not a lot of that. Absolutely thrilled by the 3 female Sylvari faces. And the dude Sylvari faces, I feel like they're almost, I don't know, I feel like they're too human, if that makes sense. Like, the top 2, anyway, in this link, I feel like they're too human.
Well, 2 and 3 are the same face, only one's more scarred than the other, and the eyebrows are a little bit different. Like, the 3 male Sylvari faces look very, very similar to each other, the same way that the 3 female faces look similar to each other. It's just, like, a changing in the scarring, basically. Which is kind of nice, because I think that the very very humanoid faces are some of the more popular ones for the Sylvari, so this gives a lot more variance to them. And I like that they're bringing in more bark faces, because the ones that they have can be really tough to work with. So
I think the third one also kind of has at least to me, it gave me the vibe of a more like an Oriental theme, like face.
yeah,
The third
yeah.
one, the way that it just gives me that vibe. I wonder if that had anything to do with the China release rather. Female Char, honestly, they almost look like male Char to me. So the female Char faces.
It looks like Rox's. Okay, number
Angry.
1 looks like a dog.
Yeah.
Or a badger face. Number 2 female Char looks like Rox's really cranky old aunt.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I really like the third face because it's the fluffy face that I really wanted, but just turned out so off before.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
The male Char faces, however, though, I super like because they're starkly different than the other faces. I think the first, yeah, I was gonna say it's the Tybalt face, and then like the second one is like, I don't know, it gets me a very Scar from the Lion King kind of vibe.
Yeah, totally.
The second one, and then
he's when he's all like, "I'm a monkey's uncle."
Yes, and then the third one, he's just so mad. Patrick, are you angry? Yeah, I can't see my eyebrows. That's what the third Char reminds me of. Because it looks like he's trying to see his eyebrows.
I love how Aller's all like, he's so upset. He's just having none of that.
Yep. And then you get down to the Asura faces, and it's interesting because they have the female there for both? Or does the male have the same hair?
The male don't have that hair. It really does look like
they just put the female there
accidentally
twice.
Posted the female.
Yeah, because the eyes on the right, the kind of snake eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know that is definitely female. These are all female faces.
Yeah, I think it's with hair and without hair.
Gotcha.
So I don't know where the
maybe
male
they're
is.
The same faces. I guess
that would be a really nice change of pace.
I don't know.
I wish there wasn't the gender difference in the faces as much.
I switched my Asura to the snake eyes face. I'm digging it. And
I love the markings, the tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, no, the tattoos are different. Look at the snaky eyes.
Mm-hmm. No, I know.
So maybe maybe it really is male and female.
Oh, maybe you're right. But that's still like the female nose, it looks like. Aren't the markings part of you pick that for your character? Like,
what?
Don't you know how you pick Asura markings on your character?
Yeah.
So could that be the markings just that they picked for the character itself, not tied to the face?
But that doesn't make sense if they're saying that there's 3 new faces.
I don't know.
And no new markings.
I don't know. We're gonna get too caught up on the faces, but I like some of the other ones have a very old Asura vibe from the last game, from Guild Wars 1, which I like, so that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of, especially for the males, it was a lot of really old faces. Actually, most of the Asura was very old, old looking.
Ilex just linked it right there. Those are the male faces. They're totally different.
Oh, wow.
So you've got Professor Farnsworth and Amy Fong, and then just another, just
Asian.
Just another dude. Got some, just showing off shark teeth there.
Yeah.
So, alright, let's move on.
Alu, your link is broken for me.
Let's see. So, Well, I guess you've played. How much have you played of the new patch?
Um, an hour or so in each zone.
Okay.
Oh, Elu, that's pretty. I see what you mean.
Um, what's it called? What's your first
Okay.
impressions on the
Okay.
new patch?
Well, the very first place I went, it was the bazaar because,
Sure.
well, it's me in the bazaar, and I'm accidentally putting weird numbers in the script. There we go. Um, so I got home really late last night, and not knowing if I would have enough time today to play, I promptly went on instead of going to bed
Hmm.
because I'm brilliant like that.
Sure.
And yeah, it was kind of confusing at first, because being a returning player, I just went there because I knew where to go and went up to the top, and I was looking for the activities, and they're not on the Sanctum anymore.
Hmm.
And although the NPC chatter on the Sanctum is really amusing, so definitely worth hanging out there.
Hmm.
They've spaced out a lot of the chatter too, so it's not just like one really chatty NPC. It's just a whole bunch, like especially with their song, everyone's singing snippets, so you get this better sense that everyone is singing the song rather than just like some really sing-songy people.
Hmm.
And I got confused with the Doliak event as to where it started, but luckily MB pointed me out
Hmm.
because I was at the finish line and I thought that's where we'd start because I thought it would be something instanced like
No.
the
Yeah.
Sanctum Sprint and stuff, but it's not. It's essentially a guild rush through Labyrinth Cliffs,
Yep.
which I think is awesome. It is so much fun, and it's so great because especially if people don't have guilds big enough to do those rushes,
Hmm.
is really great. I got thrown by the traps and the gusts of wind.
Oh, the gusts of wind are
So
brutal.
yeah, those because I was so caught up in just racing instead of figuring out what was going on. I kept like trying to do the lightning jump and being like, "What the hell?" Bouncing back, and then I happened to notice the wind, and I went, "Oh!" But yeah, I like hit the same wall of wind like 6 times and just could not figure out what was going on. This was also at like 12:30 this morning. Um, so yeah, I love the fact that there's a timer. Like
Hmm.
it sucks that I can't just go and play it whenever I want, but the fact that there's a timer means that I have a better chance of, I know where to go. I don't have to keep like pacing around the whole bazaar looking for events like you had to in the last one.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's an interesting thing because essentially what you have to do, like you said, is it's a guild rush. It does have the traps, and you turn into like a baby Doliac, and you have to get the aspects still and fly, and jump as a Doliac, and you have to basically get to the upper part of where the actual sanctum is, like you said. And there are the
yeah,
traps. There's the gusts of wind. But the way it works is there's a time, like it happens every so often, and then there's a time limit on it. So you're not actually rushing to get to the end before anybody.
for
You want
oh yeah,
more people to get through there because, like, it starts off like you finish, you're gonna get the bronze reward, whatever that is, and then like when a bunch more people finish, then you get the silver reward. But it's amongst everybody in the zone that's completed the
yeah.
whole run. So if everybody completes it again to get to then the gold reward level, you get even better rewards from the event because you don't just get the gold, the experience and the karma from the event itself. You also get the festival tokens.
Yeah, actually, because I was actually just into the in the pavilion actually earlier this evening,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when it actually dawned on me. I really like these the way that they're doing these events because it's not about your own personal reward as to whether or not you get bronze or silver. You're literally helping the group get a better reward, and I think that's awesome for these style of events. because it's less about zerging up and more about just actually helping each other. Like the mentality is different, and
yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting take on it, and there's also collecting the charged crystals to give to the Hylic barkeep, as well as another similar event where the more crystals that are given to him, the higher the reward level will go, and you'll get more stuff for that. So that is really cool, because I participated in that event as well and got gold reward. Didn't even know it was going on, and then I figured it out, and I do like it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to have you talk about the Queen's Pavilion, because I haven't done any of it. I know a little bit about the Gauntlet just from talking with people and how things have changed, but I know nothing about the actual Crown Pavilion and the fighting, the Zerg content that's there.
Okay.
But before we go to that, let's just finish up Labyrinthine Cliffs, I guess.
Okay.
So Sanctum Sprint is there, but that was kind of always there. It was an activity in the rotation. And they brought back Aspect Arena, which I completely forgot about. I played it a lot, but I totally forgot about it.
I thought that was occasionally came up on the activities thing.
Not Aspect Arena. Sanctum Sprint, the one that's like the Mario Kart style race.
Yeah.
Does. The other one does not. Where you actually fight each other with the aspects.
Yeah.
That one is not.
Oh.
It returned, and like they actually kept your progress from last year. Like
cool.
However far you'd gotten, they kept your progress. So that was really cool. And again, there's a whole new set of living story meta. There's a living story meta achievement, and all sorts of various achievements to do with, again, running around and collecting the crystals again, like we did last year. There's actually new master crystals, which are harder to get to, and those also give you another achievement.
Yeah, actually, because I did the crystal achievement. I finished the bazaar last year.
So did
and I got the crystals, and there's a new achievement for those crystals.
Right.
So it actually encourages you to go do them all again. I actually noticed that the bazaar is a little bit safer. There's a few extra nets down and whatnot. There's a lot more construction on the cliff sides. So it's a little bit easier to get around in comparison to last year for those of us who are crazy jumpers.
Yeah.
So I know I have a feeling that some of them are like, what are you guys talking about? What is it, Lex and Aster? Aster, probably, if he's in the chat, he's probably thinking like, are you insane? It's not easier, but yeah. It felt easier to me.
No, they're definitely, like, when you get blown by the gust of wind, as the Doliac, you fall onto a net. You don't fall to your death. And I feel like, I honestly thought that those nets were going to disappear after the race ended. Like, I thought they were only there for the race because you're, like, the Doliac. You can't actually jump as the Doliac.
Right.
Also, turns out, just in case you were wondering, those gusts of wind, if you're not in Doliac form, they do still knock you out of the way.
Oh, I didn't even notice them when I was human.
Yeah, but they only show up during the Doliac event.
Oh, okay.
But they will still, like, it's not like it only affects you in Doliac form. They will knock you out of the way regardless. So there is, and unfortunately I didn't have time to experience it, there's a story instance with the rest of Destiny's Edge. Or Destiny's Orphans, rather, whatever they're called now, I forget.
Yeah, I actually did that earlier today.
Okay. You can spoil it. I forgot to put a warning ahead because I didn't know how far you'd done it, so.
There's actually nothing really spoilers. It's a really good, like, if you open up the mail, it directs you to a place in Lion's Arch, which I thought was weird. So I took the boat to Labyrinth Cliffs and went about my business last night.
Sure.
/ stupidly early this morning. So then I went back to that area and I actually like noticed, as in actually cognitively recognized, the living story gold star swirly thing.
Okay.
So I actually went around the old way to get down there, not the new shortcut that Scarlet very kindly blew into the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
So I walked into the actual instance, and it was actually really like there's nothing super spoiler other than oh my god, Keel and the way she talks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. She's like reading cue cards.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking. Just
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, she's totally reading cue cards. But I think they did that intentionally because like it's well done, and I've never heard her sound like that before. So, but yeah, it's kind of funny. It's good to listen to them, talk to the people after before you go about your business. It's good because it points you out that you can do whichever event that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not obligated to do a single style of event or anything like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out. I haven't confirmed this myself, but I heard if you check around Lion's Arch, which again we haven't even mentioned, isn't rebuilt, but the services have returned to Lion's Arch. The bank.
I kind of like the new layout.
There's multiple hubs, which is nice. You have banks in multiple places. You have Mystic Forges back in there now.
Yeah, so there's only one Mystic Forge, but yeah.
Right, but you can congregate in different areas of Lion's Arch and not have to have that massive lag spike when you run to where the Mystic Forge is, because everybody's hanging out by the bank.
Yeah.
Slash running to the trading post slash the crafting stations.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
They actually moved a lot of the guild services near the vigil, which I actually hope that they keep, because it makes sense to me that guild stuff would be at the vigil. I don't know why, but it does.
Does it? Like,
well, because the vigil is kind of like the first guild in a sense. And to me, because like they banded together to do harder tasks, and all the guild commendations have to do with going on missions. So that's where my thought process.
I'll let that go, but the game is called Guild Wars, which are about events that took place before even the first game. It's not the first guild. Just gonna put that out there. That
Yeah.
And technically, they were the third order to be created. The Order of Whispers has been around for centuries. Priory was established, and the Vigil is actually the most recently established out of the three orders. But
okay,
this isn't a lore show right now. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Anyway. Sorry to totally just destroy your entire theory, but whatever, it's cool.
Whatever, I like it. So,
that's all that matters. You like it.
Yeah, they should totally do more stuff because I like it.
Yeah, we'll tell Ian to get right on that. With all the great context that I have there, I'll just be like, hey guys, Saune says this.
Saune says.
But yeah, so there's this. Apparently, though, there is hints to Living Story Season 2 stuff. If you like hang around Lion's Arch and listen and talk to NPCs and things, there's supposedly little hints all around.
There's lots of stuff in on the Sanctum too.
Okay.
There's a couple of people who are joining the Sanctum or trying to join the Sanctum, or they just say things. I went and watched the Vista up at the Sky Dock, and it pointed me to a specific spot. So I haven't figured out how to get over to that spot, but it seems awfully suspicious.
Again, for you economists out there, there are all the you can get rid of your blade shards. Not really sure if it's worth it, because you just get equipment bags that mostly give you greens.
Yeah, that's kind of bull.
Yeah, but you can trade in your candy corn and your leather scraps and your metals and your jute and all that other stuff. Turn all that kind of stuff in to get the Zephyr Zephyr Sanctum supply boxes, which can yield you celestial recipes, which I wish I had known this was coming before I bought all the celestial recipes that I needed for to outfit my elementalist in celestial gear. because the price is gonna plummet. There's also
Yeah, probably for a while.
yeah, it's stupid, and it makes me mad. Um, and then they also have the festival trader there as well, the festival token trader,
Yeah,
where you can get all
that's
sorts of cool stuff.
awesome.
Yeah, all previous living story rewards that you may or may not have received. You can get exchange for tokens. You can also get things like tomes of knowledge, or more badassly, get a mini panda straight out of.
Or the Doliac transform potion.
True, but I like that was already in the game, I believe.
The baby Doliac?
Maybe it wasn't. You know what? It wasn't a baby. It was the Winter's Day Doliac. Never mind.
Yeah, this is the baby.
Well, I want the mini panda because that's some GW1 stuff right there. Mini panda. Complete your Winds of Change. Get your mini panda. So I'm definitely going for that. You actually get, I think, 1,600 or 1,700 tokens just for completing the meta achievement. So you're pretty much right on your way. I think that might be all you need, actually.
Yeah. Well, no, you also need the gift of festival.
Okay.
From which you need to get one gift of bazaar and one gift of pavilion, and then if you double click one of them, they combine into festival.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, although you should double check to make sure it's not just requiring the gift of bazaar. It might just need the bazaar. Who knows? Because I think the sovereign weapons only need gift of pavilion.
Right, and that's something again we'll also talk about, that these sovereign weapons have made a return as well. And I think we pretty much covered the labyrinthine cliffs side of things.
The decor was not as overbearing as I thought.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
It's beautifully done. It's like all of the kites and pieces of cloth that they've always had there, they just actually have a texture on them now instead of just being a plain color. From the videos and stuff, I thought that they were going to be like super slapping all this stuff in, but it's actually really beautifully done. Things just get more and more decorated the closer to the sanctum you get, which kind of makes sense because the labyrinth cliffs probably sit pretty empty for most of the year in terms of like NPCs living there, whereas the sanctum, when it docks up at the top, would totally just decorate and go crazy.
Yeah. So I think that might be it for the labyrinthine cliffs side of things. So I'm gonna turn it over to you to talk about the pavilion side of things, and then we'll pull out a couple of things if you don't know about them from the show notes. We'll talk on those, but take it away.
Okay, so I got lucky and I landed just in time to do the boss blitz.
Okay, and what is the boss blitz?
Okay, the boss, for anyone who did the gauntlet last year, constantly there were bosses spawning in the areas.
Sure.
And, did you just say sure?
Yeah. No, I do. I wasn't trying to be facetious. I actually do know what you're talking about.
Okay, and then everyone would just go and hunt them down and kill them, and it was just like a total gold farm, and that's all it was. Well, in this new one, you have to donate gold in order to encourage, Ho-Ho-chan to actually start the blitz. And the blitz, actually, the way to actually get the best rewards is not to Zerg.
Yeah, it's a split the Zerg or something, right?
Yeah, because there's 6 bosses that spawn all at the same time, and they each have a particular mechanic. And when you kill that boss, all the other living bosses gain that mechanic in the dead one's stead.
Okay.
So the easiest way to kill them, like to do the whole event, is everyone breaks off into small groups, so that the bosses don't scale up too much, and try to take them down all at the same time.
Okay.
That would be the key thing. And whether or not you get gold, silver, or bronze in the event depends on how fast all 6 bosses are destroyed. So, okay. I think you have to do it within 5 minutes to get gold.
Okay.
And I was to head down in battle to notice what silver was.
Okay.
And you don't get loot from the boss. You have to do the whole event in order to get anything. So,
okay, that's different. That's way different from last year, because last year was just champ boxes galore, but I guess that was also when they introduced champ boxes, so they had to put them in.
Yeah. You get a chest with you get some festival points, some gauntlet tickets, and your chest, it'd be like a bronze chest or silver or gold chest, depending on what you got, how well you did. And in my bronze one, I had a few gauntlet tickets, even more festival tokens. On top of, I actually think I got more out of the chest than I did out of the splash.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of champ bags, because I killed 2 champs. I was on a third one, but I took off before he died to try to help people out. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do it, take out Boom Boom What's-His-Face in the banded sector first, because he's a pain in the ass. Oh my god. He lays down a healing turret.
Guy. I remember this guy. Yeah. Used to be able to pull him out and just kill him with range back in the day.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you definitely want to go there first. And you will definitely want to split up too. So yeah, that was actually really fun. That was really fun. I like how they're basically punishing the Super Zerg. Because if you do the Super Zerg, it's like impossible to do. Because you get more ads and more mobs and stuff like that if you try to Super Zerg it.
Okay.
So, because I know that was the solution to the marionette things.
Yep.
To get into the Scarlet thing. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
Zerg everywhere. So that's good. They're really breaking up that Zerg strategy mentality. Mm-hmm. So.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
It's different than you would think, because they were. I like it. It's a little hard to coordinate people like that without everybody being on a voice comm. Not saying it's necessary, but I like the way, like, where their head's at. I just feel like it's hard to implement that with a bunch of randoms in, like, a giant pug, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. Well, having multiple commanders, splitting the commanders up so they're not all sitting on the same location, and because I had turned map chat on, and it was very well behaved, so good on you people. Mm-hmm. And they were basically like, split up, don't do a Super Zerg, we have too many people here, no one come over here. Other people were like, we need some more people here. So others were like, okay, well, if you guys say that it's like, I'm at here, and if you guys say that we have too many people here, I'll go move to whatever other box. Mm-hmm. So people are voluntarily splitting themselves up. Okay. Which is good, because it shouldn't have to rely on voice chat all the time.
Sure. Yeah, it's, I'm hopeful that more events like this will, again, I haven't experienced this myself, so I don't really know, and probably by the time, like Aloe just mentioned in the chat here, probably by the time I get there, it'll be more defined, kind of like how the Worm was chaos, and Triple Trouble Worm was chaos, and now it's kind of refined. But I like this idea, and I like what the potential it has to go in the future.
Yeah, I think that the coordination required for this is so little that they don't need to be... You don't need to have, like, TTS or something like that to organize this. Mm-hmm. I think it'll stay pretty straightforward. Anyone who just wanders in should be able to figure it out pretty quickly. I mean, like, I just wandered in and I had no idea what the heck the event was. I just assumed it was like last year. Mm-hmm. And I just sort of figured it out on the way, because I actually thought that in the patch notes, when they were talking about the champions taking on the the skills of the others, I thought that was in the gauntlet, not in the arena downstairs.
Mm.
So that must mean that the gauntlet is more or less the same. I have heard that they added new skill sets to the people in the gauntlet.
Yeah, I heard there's again your progress in the gauntlet returned. I haven't gone in there either, but I do know that like however many things you defeated last time, it still remains. Like you can pick up where you left off. Another chance to defeat Liadri. I also heard they adjusted all the AoEs to have the new AoEs, the big solid red rings on the ground.
Yeah.
So like Liadri's attack is not like a thin red circle to dodge out of, it's a big honking red ring to get out of. And apparently you can kill her in her first stage using lifesteal on a thief, apparently, so I've heard. So I may go try that after this.
Should do that before they fix that.
Yeah, so but I guess the most important thing out of all of this is those Zephyr Supply Sanctum boxes that you can get in Labyrinthine Cliffs used to just give you Celestial Armor. They now also have a rare chance to give you the Air Filtration Device from the Nightmares Within or the Wind Catcher Backpack piece from the last Bazaar of the Four Winds.
Yeah.
Participating in the festival content in the Gauntlet, using the Gauntlet entrance tickets to get into the Crown Pavilion. Winning fights in the Gauntlet will award players with Gauntlet chances, which have a rare chance to drop a further set of rare returning rewards, such as the Monocle from Sky Pirates of Tyria, which is huge. And furthermore, Gauntlet chances have a very rare chance to drop a recipe for the new crafting skin, the Chaos of Lissa back piece.
Yeah.
So that makes Balthazar, you can get through PvP. Grenth, Duena, we got from Winter's Day, and now we'll be getting the Chaos of Lissa. That leaves us with Melandru and probably, maybe Cormyr. I hope not, but probably.
Probably.
I'll just take credit for all you do and fight Trahearn over who gets to take the credit for everything you do.
Oh my god, that would be the funniest thing. It'd be like the wussiest bitch fight. I did it! No, I did it! No, I did it!
There's actually Wooden Potatoes did a Crayon lore a while back where it was Trahearn versus Cormyr and nothing happened. Because they all just were too busy trying to take credit for each other that nothing got done and like the world ended. I'll have to find it. I'll see if I can't find it and I'll link it. But I think we pretty much covered most of the stuff. Again, a lot of returning rewards, which is, again, I feel a lot of that's for China, since Living Story Season 2 is going to launch simultaneously here as it does there. And like they're going to unify all the Living Story releases going forward. So this is kind of a way for those of you who started late, missed events, things like that, or also for the Chinese launch as well, so they can get some of the Living Story Season 1 stuff.
I actually kind of hope that when they do bring the Bazaar back again next year, that they do continue to do this. I like this ability to, for a shit ton of work, get these rewards that I missed. Like, I think it's really nice. So, because, like, some of those events, it's just like either the event itself was just no good for me, or, I just didn't have time.
Yeah. I hear you. And unfortunately, guys, we're running a little bit long. And I actually have to go do more work after this. So I'm just gonna link this here, and I don't have time to go through everything. But there was some stuff data mined, and I have my hat and everything. But I like I said, we gotta kind of wrap this up. The big one was the ancestral outfit. It's an outfit, not armor. It's a very Chinese-looking robes with a dragon on it. It has stuff for more customization. It says new faces only in the total makeover kits, but then it also says new hairstyle, so I'm guessing that's coming soon in the hairstyle and makeover kits. But then it also says customize your combat with a new look. I'm assuming that meant for both of those, but it could be something separate.
Right.
A lot of this was a huge one, which Saune and I were back and forth on. The Monkey King tonic was also data mined, and whether or not we'll get to see that here. And I guess the other thing is, like, if they did release that here, doesn't make any sense. Like, why is there a Monkey King all of a sudden now?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense for China either, but I don't know. Although, you know what, now that I look at it, under armor, there is chat codes for ancestral gloves, ancestral pants, and ancestral shoes.
Oh, so maybe that's those?
So maybe they're separate pieces, but I haven't looked at the chat codes.
Yeah.
There's a thing.
Neither have I.
For silence, you have been silenced, you'll be able to chat again in blank, so it looks like they may be implementing a silencing feature to stop spammers. And then one of the most interesting thing is under the testing section. It says testing 1 2 3 testing, test finisher, and then underneath that, summon babies. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is where babies come from in Tyria. You summon them through your summonings. Summon babies.
Summon babies! Release babies!
So that shaman responded when someone commented on this and said, no, you throw a male and a female in the forge with 5 bottles of Alonian wine, and then you spawn a baby.
Oh, that's also true.
Sometimes it procs and you get more than one baby in return. We still have so many of these mini Jennas nobody wants. Just throw another Farron mini in there and you're good to go. Oh, these comments are great on Reddit. How is Babby summoned? I'm glad that somebody caught my how is Babby formed joke there. So thank you for that. These comments on the baby thing. Throw mini Jenna and mini Farron, and then somebody comments, "I'm rich, you know." Is there a lot of RNG involved? On the bright side, that's where genetic diversity comes from. On the downside, paternity tests might be a problem. Wait, what's the fourth component? Then you got regret, money, 250 candy corn, length of youthful wood. Yeah, it's interesting to read through the comments. So, yeah. Oh, wow. I guess I'll just link this real quick. And then we'll kind of close this out. But, so apparently that's what the ancestral stuff would look like on a char. Because I guess I forgot that you could actually see it in game for other characters. I've only ever seen it on human characters.
Oh, that's stuff that you data mined last time.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be an outfit, not an armor thing. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep. Oh, wow. Well, that was. Check this out. I'll just link that. I think that if you look at that, you can see this has an ornament that goes all the way down the tail for the char. The dragon goes all the way down the tail.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah, so that's pretty neat.
So they're not actually getting gypped for once.
No, and that's actually the Chaos of Lissa back piece on there that you're seeing being previewed as well. And I guess, again, there was also, real quick, the updates to the legendary weapon Eternity. The footsteps are crazy now. They're like the puddle, but then there's also like a sunburst above it. When you draw it, it like explodes out this big like swirly thing. And whenever you make a projectile with the greatsword, like if you throw it, or you spin and throw stuff out as a guardian or whatever, the projectiles are actually like, I think it's dawn and dusk, like in a circle, like whirly together.
Oh, neat!
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So.
Oh, that's good, because, like, before it's all like, why would you make 2 legendaries to make that 1 legendary?
Yeah. So.
I wonder if they're gonna release, when they release other legendaries, if they'll make combos for the others too.
I feel like it doesn't really work because. Oh, I see what you're saying. If they make new ones, combine the 2.
Yeah, so like another legendary gun, and then you combine chaos with that gun, and you get
Gotcha.
a 3rd one. So it's like a legendary legend.
Like, okay, be interesting. All right. Let me. There's just another link of the ancestral thing. Our Gw2 Craft Corner. I will link right here, and we'll pull this up. And this is. So I'm gonna grab this one. This is Art of Gun on DeviantArt. This is a Necromancer portrait preview. And what was your thinking? What drew your attention to this? Ugh.
It's really well done. Like, really well done with the skin tones. Darker skin can be difficult to do. The structure is so well done. Like, the bone structure and just the lips and the highlights, you can see that there's a little bit of perspiration on. Those creepy ass eyes actually still look natural.
Mm-hmm.
All the tattoos and stuff actually follow the contours and perspiration highlights of the face. Still, obviously because it is a work in progress, still a little bit more refinement to do on the hair and clothing. Mm-hmm. But it looks really, really good.
Okay.
So, I'm very impressed because I can't do people to that level of detail.
Well, so yeah, be sure to check out Art of Gun on DeviantArt. And last, Saune kind of threw this here at the end for question of the week. It's sort of not really a question; it's more like a task, kind of, I guess.
Well,
but
I guess.
Why don't you describe it? Why don't you read the question? Because you.
Okay. Question of the week is: can you come up with some icon ideas for a to replace those on our logo? For those of you who've been with us for a while, you know that we had to shut down our shop because we were using a logo made entirely of ArenaNet copyrighted material. So we want to replace all those profession and race icon with non-ArenaNet property or anybody's property.
Right.
So that we don't get into we don't get another wrist slap.
Yeah.
To something that still makes you think of, hey, that's a Guardian, hey, that's Norn. So that we can get our shop back up, so that we can release a new logo and get all that stuff back. We've had a number of artists. I'm too swamped to spend a lot of time or energy on it, but a lot of artists working for a long time now, but everyone gets really stuck coming up with ideas for these icons. Like, what would it look like? So if anyone has any thoughts, any ideas, that would be really, really, really awesome to hear from you guys. It doesn't have to be on one. It doesn't have to be only one per profession or race or one of each or anything like that. Any of the ideas would be fantastic. Doodle's even better, because sometimes that's just clearer than trying to describe something.
Sure.
Or any combination thereof.
Okay, so there you go. We have at it, folks. We will check back on everything as the week progresses, and get back on Thursday next week and talk about it.
Yeah.
But Saune, why don't we talk a little bit about your art and explain that to the folks.
This is from Mike and the ladies earlier this week. Yeah, you have to get pretty deep into the episode. This is all courtesy of Casey. Casey's Ritlock. she read Ritlock in the funniest voice, and all I could think of was Kitten Ritlock going roar in the cute Casey roar, and I don't know why this came out this way. This is a kitten. Yes. With oh, I'm in the wrong setting. So, Kitty Ritlock, Casey Kitty Ritlock.
Yeah.
And then we started joking about how he should be done like anime style, and then we all like pointed out, oh no, wait, rocks with their giant eyes. So they wanted an anime girl rocks. So,
there you go.
Notice me, Ritlock senpai. Notice me.
Awesome. All right. Well, this will be obviously the link for all this will be in the description. For those of you who are listening on iTunes or download the podcast and they want to be able to see things. All right. So I think that brings us to a close. We ran pretty long here, and I just want to get my work done so I can go to bed. But for the 97th episode of the Chronicles Interior Podcast, 3 away from 100, folks. 3. We are getting there.
Yay!
I am Lagwin.
And I'm Saune.
And we will see you next time. There we go. Alright. Such a good dancer song.
I know.
Look at that freeze frame you did there for a second. Impressive. You know, it would be kind of funny if this is what you look like in real life. You're just Gr. Saune is Gr. You heard it here first.